woolen cloak. So he went into town and he said, "If I catch that thief, I'll. If he doesn't return my cloak, I'll. Well, everyone went around town because, of course, even though Mullah Nasruddin was a cosmic joker, he was still quite an illustrious figure in the small town in which he lived. So people went around saying that Mullah is so angry, and if he catches that thief, he's going to... And they made a story. And all the stories got back to the thief. And when the thief heard of what the Mullah Nasruddin was going to do to him if he caught him, he immediately made a bundle out of the cloak and in the middle of the night put it outside Mullah Nasruddin's door. And Mullah Nasruddin was very happy, and he put on his warm woolen cloak and went into town. But nobody asked him, what would you have done to the thief if you'd caught him? Because they'd already made their story. But they did ask him, Mullah, what would you have done if the thief hadn't returned your cloak? Mullah Nasruddin very cheerfully said, I would have gone out and bought another one. There was a very interesting phenomena that was noticed when we were travelling on the bus together with all of those beings who went to Myanmar. And it was noticed that when anyone caught sight of something outside the bus window, it might have been a man with his dray, with his oxen pulling some hay along the road. And maybe someone would say, oh, maybe that man is taking his hay down to the village to sell it, to feed the animals, because there's been no rain around. And then somebody else would make a speculation, oh, maybe he was doing it. And everything that anyone brought up, everyone made a story about it. Everyone had their story. Everyone had their speculation about what was going on. Maybe some ladies breaking some bricks on the side of the road. Everyone had to make a story. So, it's been asked of us over these last days, what happens to us when these three levels of life, the nitty-gritty, the intuitive, transcendental, and this ultimate level of oneness and interrelatedness, all merged together like the water, the yeast, and the flour. Where are we then? What happens? Well, for one thing we know, the mind no longer has the capacity to make stories. How very strange. No stories, no speculations, no questions, so there's no need for any answers. But now there's a riddle for you, a story in the form of a riddle. It's the story of a great Punjabi saint by the name of Bhashan Shah. Now, when Bhashan Shah was a small boy, his father sent him to the village school. And the first thing that was taught in the village school was the Arabic alphabet. But while the other boys in the class, in the first few weeks, learned all the letters of the alphabet, Bhashan Shah was only able to grasp one. The Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet, the Aleph. And the Aleph is just a straight line. So after the term of school was over and all the other children had learned the alphabet and Bashan Shah had only grasped the Aleph, the teacher decided that he was stupid and took him to his parents and said, "I cannot teach this boy." So his parents were very concerned. They took him from teacher to teacher, from school to school. But all he could learn was the Aleph. So Bashan Shah felt that he was putting his family to shame. So he left and went into the forest. And while he was in the forest, he found that the insects, the grass, the birds, the trees, the mountains, the streams were all the Aleph. He learned this lesson so well, he wanted to go back and thank his old teacher for what he had given him. So by this time, his teacher was old, and he didn't even remember Bashan Shah. But Bashan Shah explained, thanked his teacher with great sincerity for this lesson that he's learned. And then Bashan Shah said, "Can I show you what I've learned?" And the old teacher thought, well, this boy is still as stupid as he ever was. But here, put it on the wall. So Bashan Shah went over to the wall and made the Aleph. And before their very eyes, it separated. Now when the teacher saw this phenomenon, it was a miracle to him. And he said, all of these years, when I've been seeking in the many, here is the lesson. This is your riddle. But it said in the Tao Te Ching, I think it's in verse 40, the one becomes the two becomes the three, and the three becomes the 10,000 things. The 10,000 things hold the yin and embrace the yang. They create harmony by uniting. What does this riddle mean for us, and can only be solved when we find ourselves in that place where the three levels of existence, mind, Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, knowledge, and bliss have merged, become one. And in so doing, precipitate us into that place where the mind has not the ability to create any more stories, to make any more questions. Therefore, there are not needing to be any answers. What's the answer to this riddle? What is it that's contained in this little story of Bashan Shah? What happens when we transcend oneness? Thief doesn't return my cloak. I'll
Buy another one.